Hey guys, Victor here, and for today I have a trilogy for you. I'm doing 3 countries in one because all 3 can get the third way achievement. And it's a simple guide over all 3 countries, Mzab, Oman, and Pate, all in one. Now we're going to be going in the opposite order because I recommend you do Pate, and if not Pate, then Oman, and if not either of them, finally Mzab if you really want to suffer. Now, this did take quite a bit of time because I had to research all 3 countries and find strategies that work at least most of the time for all 3. So if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe because it lets me know that you guys want to see this kind of stuff versus opposed to something else. If you want to see something else though, by all means let me know. More than happy to take criticism and take advice to make it so it's better for everybody. With all of that being said, let's get down into Africa with Pate. The first country we're going to cover through our tour of Ibadi countries for this achievement is of course going to be Pate. The reason why is this is actually the country I strongly recommend you try and do this with because you have a lot more options available to you and it is by far the easiest, least RNG reliant one, with also being the funnest one. So let's go ahead and talk about it. You are a 1 province miner surrounded by people that are larger than you, just south of the Horn of Africa, meaning you're not exactly in the middle of things. However, you do start off being Ibadi while your province here is Sunni. So you do have to start off with conversion, you have to fight people that are stronger than you, and it might seem like you're in a very bad position, but you're really not. So let's talk about the estates and privileges first, because, well, we need to. First off, you're going to want to grant the monarch generators. While I normally will grant this generally, you're going to want to have them granted if for no other reason than you're going to need them for later on. While you can grant them once you need them, you might as well grab them now so you don't fall behind in tech. Everything else is largely up to you, but I do strongly recommend both Enforced Unity of Faith to help you convert, and Expansion Zealotry because you're only going to be fighting people that are not Ibadi. So you might as well have the morale bonus because you're absolutely going to be fighting people. Period. The end. You're going to have to fight somebody. So you're going to have that morale boost pretty much throughout the game. This does make it so both the ulema and the emirs are just slightly below 50%. So you need to be able to time your seizing with summoning the diet just so you can get your loyalty high enough to keep seizing land. With that, we're done talking about the estates and privileges. Now let's cover some just general setup. The first thing you're going to do is turn on the Enforced Religious Unity Edict. This will give you a little bit more missionary strength because, well, you have to convert your capital. And this will let you convert it in less than 100 months. Now, you start off with 0 religious unity because you have no provinces that are also Ibadi and you have to stay Ibadi. So you're going to want to convert this immediately. Now, I'm bringing this up because this edict will make your life significantly easier because, well, there's no Ibadi provinces that you're going to find. Even the ones that do exist at the start of the game are likely to be Sunni by the time you get there. So you're going to be converting a lot. I mean a lot of provinces. So that edict is going to save you so much time, effort, money, everything, that you want to be granting it whenever you're converting any part of a state. So just turn it on, convert the state, then turn it off, and just focus one state at a time. Don't look at how long it takes. Look at what state you're working on, turn it on, and focus down that one state. Don't have all of them working on it. Now that that's been said, I wanted to talk about this, the piety tracker. See, most people like mysticism, and there's a reason for it. First off, you can get some manpower clicks when you need it. Second off, you get morale of armies, so you can punch higher than your weight class. And lastly, you have missionary strength, which will help you convert those provinces to Ibadi. The problem? You gain mysticism whenever you attack somebody of the same denomination as you, so other Ibadi countries. You gain legalism when you attack literally anybody else. And since you're going to be fighting literally anybody else, you're going to gain so much legalism. And this is beneficial because it keeps your tech costs down, keeps your tax income high, your manpower high, and makes the ulema loyal. The problem is that, well, you don't have that missionary strength and you're converting so many things, it's painful. So be aware, you're not going to be able to rely on mysticism. I just have never been able to make it work. And I've done this, I've done Oman, and I've done Mzab combined maybe about 60 times, and I cannot get mysticism high. So just do not anticipate that working. So now that we've talked about the religion, let's talk about the rest of the setup. The Navy, turn all your cogs onto mothball. With your light ships, go ahead and have them protect trade in Zanzibar, and then take your army and drop the maintenance. While I know a lot of you want to attack somebody early and you have some really small targets over here, these aren't actually your targets yet. I'll get into that in a little bit. However, then you have 2 free merchants. Send them both up to Ethiopia and the Gulf of Aden. Now you'll eventually be moving these guys once you secure enough land to the south, both in Zanzibar and Zambezi. The reason why is that since you are a Muslim country, you have access to propagate religion. This only works against people that are not Christian, Muslim, or Jewish. You have to use this on the fetishist nations, etc. And well, down here there are fetish nations. Up here, you have Coptic, which is Christian, Sunni, which is Muslim, and Jewish, which means you cannot use it anywhere up here. So you're going to have to manually convert up here, but if you go south, you'll have some easier to convert over once you have enough trade power. So once you have that, move those merchants down and use them to convert. Till then, just leave them up here and have them on collect trade, because it'll give you a little bit more money, and you're going to be strapped for cash for a very long time. With that being done, now let's move on to diplomacy, and we can talk about that some more. Your starting diplomacy is going to be dictated by who you're going to attack first. Now, the reason I bring this up is most people that start off playing this will think Malindi or Mombasa are who you have to go after first, thinking, well, they're the smaller countries, they should be the ones I'm able to handle, I'll go after them. The thing is that both of them have a nasty habit of allying Kilwa or Ajuran, and sometimes in my games, both. Meaning, you can't take them on. You're not strong enough to take on their 5,000 plus the other 8,000 or 9,000 that these two have. Meaning, you can't expand there. So instead of doing that, your primary target isn't Malindi, it's not Mombasa, it's Ajuran. The reason why it's Ajuran, well, they threaten you because they're a big power that's right next to you. And they have people that really hate them. So much, in fact, that some of them will even royal marry you at the start of the game. And that's all you really need to do. Grab them as an alliance, and then wait for them to have enough favors to want to punch Ajuran for you. As far as Kilwa down here, because they're also a rival, I'm going to find one of their other rivals, and it looks like they don't have any, though Mutapa doesn't like them. And I'm going to insult them. In this case, I'm going to have to insult Ajuran. Why? Because I need to get them happy enough with me to be willing to royal marry me, to be willing to ally me, to be willing to come in and help me against Ajuran. The other ones that you can usually look for are up here at Marahan, because they will want their land, which means they'll be willing to protect you and come in either on promise of land or on favors. And that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to simply get the right allies, get people that are willing to come in and fight Ajuran and whoever they happen to ally, which, yeah, as you can see here, Malindi's already been allied. And then Ogaden up here, which isn't that big of a problem because, well, Marahan will even come in on that land, and Adal will even want that land. So, this is all you need to effectively do. Just find people willing to ally you that want to take a piece out of Ajuran, either because they're rivals or they want their land, ally them, and use them against Ajuran. So I'm going to pause the recording because I need to wait until I have the allies and I have the favors, and that can take about 10 years. So I will see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So I now have the 10 favors necessary to declare an Ajuran, which makes it a fair fight. However, well, Kilwa's having a fetishist problem. So while they're dealing with that, I might be waiting. Now, in the meantime, I did want to talk about one very important thing, and that is right here, the Sunni Zealots. These guys will absolutely convert you to Sunni if they end up firing. The reason why is because even if you can fight off the 7,000 troops, at the end of the day, you're talking about taking a gigantic risk, because if they force you Sunni, you're not likely to get the achievement. You're not going to be able to find an Ibadi province within time to be able to convert back to get the achievement at all. So it generally just is not worth your time to allow them to convert you. So if they're going to fire, use harsh treatment and make them stop. Either that's at the 90% or if you use the trick 100%, but it's up to you what you choose to use. Now, getting ready for this war, I'm hiring the Free Company in my capital. This is a 4,000 unit stack, which means I have 8,000 troops. That's 2 over my force limit, but I'm going to be taking debt, but that's fine. You need to be ready to have the debt. Because what you're going to be doing is you're racing down into Malindi, or if they happen to be allied to Mombasa as fast as you can, to get that land before Kilwa does. So at this point, I'm actually going to cancel this because I'm going to be waiting for Kilwa to stop being intimidated by an 11,000 stack and wait for them because I need them to absolutely come up here and back me up against Ajuran because I don't want to be dealing with that alone. Because they are likely to go straight for your capital. And while they lack forts, it's just something you don't want to be stuck on your own about. Because if they take your capital, you're in for a very bad time. So I'm going to pause the recording again. I'll see you guys once I'm done with the Ajuran War. See you soon. Welcome back, guys. War's over. So what basically happened is Kilwa walked around the rebels, going through these native lands and fighting every single one of them to unsiege Mombasa. Once I saw that, I figured, you know what, fine. They'll either help or they won't, and if I fail, I'll just restart. It's not like I was really into the game so far. And what happened is they got to Malindi before I could, so they got the occupation. So I pieced up Malindi, leaving them in their capital, taking their other province, and because I don't want to give Kilwa the land, I'll come back for it myself later. But I was able to walk up here and get all of the occupations on all of Ajuran and Mogadishu, even though Marahan wants land, because I got there first. Now because of that, I'm able to take absolutely everything. If you called somebody in, or if they grabbed the land themselves, go ahead and give it to them, you'll get it from them later. Now, the nice thing about this is that, yeah, this is a lot of land, but on top of that, if you don't want to core it yourself, there are people that you can release to hand the land off to instead. So Galindi, this is who I will use, and then I'll also use Hobyo over here, because that gives enough land that I don't have to core, they're going to be loyal, and if you want to release Mogadishu, you can, but realistically, you should have more than enough admin points to be ending up coring all of this yourself. So, don't be too afraid of the rebels. You're going to be fighting rebels too for most of this game. So just get ready for it, because it's going to be happening. And now that you have this land, it's time to just chill for a bit. Now all you need to do is get your land cored up, get everything situated, make sure they're not going to rebel, and that's about it. So I'm going to see you guys in a little bit once I have everything cored, because then it's time to talk a little bit more. See you guys in just a second. And welcome back, everybody. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things, but first off, I have finally gotten these things cored up, which has allowed me to first embrace Somali culture and then make it my primary culture. The reason why is being Swahili, it really doesn't do anything for you. While Swahili is the culture you're going to be expanding into south down here, there is no formable tag for the Swahili people. Instead, you want to go Somali because you can form Somalia. And Somalia is amazing. You see, it gives you a really good idea set, however, it's very easy to form for you. All you have to do is take over the Horn of Africa and, well, control all the Somali provinces, which means Adal, Warsangali, Marahan, Ogaden, and what you've already taken. And it really doesn't take much to take these guys out. Meaning, you should be able to form this pretty quickly, and it doesn't require even a tech requirement. So this is why you want to be Somali, and that's why you're not dev pushing until you become primary culture Somali. After that, you can dev push whatever you want. However, at this moment, I'm going to keep going and getting tech, and then I'll dev push after I hit tech 5. Now, I wanted to point out something else too, because I believe I forgot to talk about it. You have a garbage ruler and a garbage heir at the start, but your heir is over 16, meaning he can be made into a general. Make him a general for those first wars, because if he dies in combat, you don't take a stability hit. If your ruler dies, you take a stability hit. If he dies in combat, you lose 2, but nobody cares about heirs. So, hopefully, he'll shuffle off the mortal coil. If not, oh well. But by having a better ruler means getting to 10 is a whole lot easier, so you do want him to die as soon as practically possible. And doing it that way means you don't have to lose the prestige. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pause it again because I need to start converting. I'm going to have to fight some rebels because of course I'm going to. And with any luck, I won't have a problem with this. Now, if you do want to convert these things faster, buy up your stability, buy a advisor here that'll give you conversion speed, but it really just doesn't take that long. It's just you're going to be taking time anyway to get these guys integrated before you continue forward. So I will see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So it's time to go in on Ogaden here, who allied Kilwa. So before I end up declaring on them, I went and I made Kilwa a rival. The reason why is, well, as I said before, you're trying to get these numbers up to 10. Well, you can get one in here simply by having over 50 power projection. Instead of risking having that go down by 5 by the time I conquer all of this, I'll just go through and, well, humiliate Kilwa and take some of their land, namely their lovely, lovely capital gold mine if I can. If not, I can take some more land out of them and keep going. One of the reasons why you want to just get one province out of Agadir, because, well, you could give the other one to Marahan or Adel or whoever you want, because you can get it back with favors, but yeah, they have other provinces with these guys. So if you're able to grab them, great. If not, it doesn't really matter that much. And then because they're allied to Warasangali, I want to make one of these provinces of my interest. Because if I can get them to hand it off to me, especially if I can get there first, I can then take one province out of Warasangali and release them as a vassal too, and use my favors that I've been accumulating with Marahan to just get them back. And they don't take much favors because, well, they don't exactly have a whole lot of development. So I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to pause the recording, smash Kilwa, smash these guys, and hopefully take them all out at once. And Adal, well, I just fought them, but I really didn't take much out of them. I took war reps, if I remember right. So that truce should be over pretty quickly, allowing me to go in on them and take what I need out of them, and then it's just Marahan that I need to go after. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back. So as you can see, war's over. I took the humiliation, war reps, and then the Mombasa provinces from Kilwa, because, well, I kind of have enough to convert now. I don't need more down here in the south, especially stuff I can't really reach on my own without cogs, because, well, I'm likely to have separatist fire. Now, I do have these two guys now as OPMs, so I can now go after Adal, I can go after Marahan, I can go after whoever I need to go after. Marahan won't give me my cores back until I improve their relations to 50 or over, so just got to get their opinion up a little bit higher, and I'll be good to go. After I have this done, and I have the cores from them, I can break the alliance and go in on them whenever I feel like it, and since they're allied to Adal, it's kind of inevitable that it's going to happen. But as you can see here, they're not exactly a whole lot of favors to get some of this land. 9 favors for a province is not exactly high. And by doing this, I'm now able to spend these favors and then break the alliance and go in on them when they're substantially weaker. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to me forming Somalia. The reason why is because then I can show you the other things you guys need to be aware of. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So as you can see, it's now time to clicky the button. However, before I do so, I just wanted to point out it did take me getting power projection up, giving the privileges, and of course having +2 advisors. But that's with a 3-3-3. If you were with any luck, like I almost was in this game, I had a 3-5-5 until about 2 months ago, you're able to simply use the focusing to throw more of those points to what you lack. And the only ones you care about are admin and military. So if you have a 6-1-2, you're able to focus it onto military to bump it up. But I'm now able to click the button. Now before I do, there is one requirement to click this button that I want to talk about, and that is the not a nomad nation. This is important because if you look in your government reforms, you can be a horde. But if you click this button first, you cannot form Somalia, unless you click another thing in here. The problem is that once you click on horde, there's no way to click off of horde and go back to tribal other than becoming a monarchy, a republic, or a theocracy, which stops you from being a horde again. However, if you click the button, and yes, keep it, though it's the same missions, you get better ideas, you are still able to become a horde, which means you'll be able to have the nomadic tech group, which gives you amazing cavalry, as well as the plus 25% shock damage whenever it's on flat terrain, and I'll get to why that's important in a little bit, but allows you to quickly invade your neighbors, take a swath of territory, burn it to the ground, get a bunch of monarch power, and then use that to core up this land, which is very, very nice. On top of that, you have the ability to steal money from coastlines, and it's within 3 sea tiles just like everybody else. The thing is that right here you notice there's an island, and right along here there's a coast connecting to this sea tile, meaning if you have this island, you have 1, 2, 3, and you're able to raid all of this in southern India. This is within 3, this, and yes, this too, allowing you to get probably around 300 ducats every few years. which might not sound like a lot, but it definitely helps your economy early. On top of that, again, you're a horde. You're able to conquer things very, very quickly. And what are you going to have nearby? You're going to have 2 gold mines to the north, 1 in Kilwa, and 4 more to the south, within very, very easy reach. Meaning, once you actually start conquering this area, and first, I highly recommend converting it, just so you don't have to spend a lot of time or money converting these provinces, you're not going to have any kind of money problem ever again. Because by the time you're outstripping 7 gold mines and pirating, you should have enough of economy anyway. And basically what you're doing at that point is you're conquering through Ethiopia, heading south to Mutapa. If you have the ability or desire to, you can also grab a colonist from the expansion tree, colonize here, and expand through both the Rwandan area and the Congolese area, giving you a huge more amount of development. And then in a couple of years, you'll have an event that fills in this area of territory, allowing you to then push into West Africa, giving you pretty much all of Africa without any real difficulty. What I do recommend, however, is to follow your mission tree. The reason why is if you look in here, not only do you get that immediate, you're bordering somebody you can declare on them, but if you go through here, there is actually a mission that will give you claims on any of the trade ports here in this trade node, allowing you to simply invade into Sri Lanka, and then use that as a launch pad to launch into Vijayanagar, if they're still around by then. But that means it's incredibly easy for you to build up enough of a navy to just land, and then not only conquer Africa, but conquer India too, giving you more than enough development, force limit, everything else you need to absolutely dominate and outscale anybody else. However, I do recommend you get exploration ideas, just because in order for you to actually complete your objectives here, you're going to want to go to the Spice Islands, because there's also some Sunni nations over there that you have to take care of. But with that, you should be perfectly fine with Pate. You'll have more than enough money from raiding, you'll have more than enough money from gold mines, you'll have shock troops to being able to handle anything really anybody throws at you once you get rolling, and the Ottomans should largely leave you alone, so long as you stay below this line. Every time I pushed further north in this, and I did this about 60 separate times, just for Pate, they didn't attack me. If I pushed further north than that, they really wanted that land. But simply sticking below this line where it's just these 2 provinces, they don't feel the need to attack you. On top of that, it's all flat terrain here, meaning they will outnumber you, but if you build enough cavalry in your army, you should be able to break them over and over and over again with any luck. All you need to do at that point, though, is once you can see them, improve relations with them. Try and keep your opinion with them over 100 for the entire game, until you are ready to fight them. For the simple reason that if you do that, it costs them 1 stability to declare on you, and the AI is programmed to really not want to do that. So just keep the opinion over 100, expand through Africa, expand through India, expand through the Spice Islands, and just by doing that, you will have a massive empire and probably about twice the force limit by the time you actually turn to finish off the last real target, which should be the Ottomans. They will be your campaign ender. But with all that said, that's Pate for you, so let's go ahead and move on. The next country that we're going to be talking about, Oman. And welcome to Oman. I start off in a substantially different position than Pate does. There's a lot of differences when it comes to Oman. Not just in geography, but just in starting conditions generally. You have more land under your belt, so more development, which means your economy and your army is going to be stronger. On top of that, you start off actually in Ibadi lands. And on top of even that, you have cores to reconquer that are also Ibadi, which means, unlike Pate, who has to conquer and convert everything it takes, which means you're going to be having religious rebels from day 1, and separatist rebels from the moment you conquer anybody, Oman, you actually can spend time with a core of your land where you're not going to be having problems. Now, there are other differences here on how you play Oman, but we'll get to them as we cover this guide. Now, first things first, let's talk about the estates and privileges. This is a standard start, so go ahead and grant what you feel like granting. I do still recommend the monarch point generators because absent these, you're going to usually fall behind deving institutions and keeping up on tech. However, it is still your call. So if you don't want to grant them, go for it. Now, when it comes to these advisory boards, the reduction in the advisor cost ones, I recommend granting these only when you have level 2 advisors, because level 1, usually you can afford, and there's not a whole lot of savings to justify this increase in influence. Later on, however, that cost gets pretty high, and these start really paying off. So for now, don't do it. Later on, absolutely. And do try to keep the Dhimmi over 60% loyalty equilibrium just to get that tech cost reduction, because it'll be 5% off your tech pretty much throughout the game as long as you stay with the Dhimmi over 60%. And since you'll be behind on tech, that absolutely helps out. Now you will have just shy of 5% crown land, so dev your capital with 1 diplomatic dev point. It just gets it a little bit higher, but it'll save you a lot of tax income, and you're going to need that early on. Otherwise, this crown land is going to fix itself after you start conquering people. Now, as far as your army is concerned, hire both your ruler and a general. Doesn't really matter if your ruler is good or not. He's not that great of a ruler, so you want him to die. And this helps him die. Now, if he's a great general, you can use him. But otherwise, don't bother. And then move him over here to Barimi? I'm sorry, I know I can't pronounce it. And hire the free company there as well. You're going to be attaching them to it. Do not keep them as separate armies, because you're going to be attacking Hormuz pretty much immediately. And if you have them separated, you can be locked in here while your free company's not, and they can catch you in Zufra and stack wipe your free company without any difficulty at all. So be very careful with that. But with that being done, let's talk about diplomacy and rivals. Now, as far as you're starting diplomacy, you're just going to start off rivaling Yaz. Don't rival Hormuz. The reason why is because, well, while you can rival Hormuz, it makes it far more likely that they're going to find allies to specifically counter you. Already, they start off being threatened by the Timurids, which means they're likely to be protected by the people that hate the Timurids, which is almost always the Mamluks. So they can ally the Mamluks. If that happens, you're going to have to restart. There's no way around it. If they ally the Mamluks, the only option you have is to wait for the Ottomans to attack the Mamluks, occupy them, giving you the opportunity to invade Hormuz without the Mamluks coming in. But that can take up to 50 years. I've seen games that go 50, 60, even sometimes 70 years with the Ottomans not going into the Mamluks. At that point, just restart. It's not worth it. So if they ally the Mamluks, just restart the game. So at this point, it's time to unpause, get this moving along a little bit, and see who they do ally. It looks like they allied the other options that they have, which was Dawasir. The other ones they have are Najd and Yaz. If they ally Yaz, perfect. That's not a threat at all, and you can wipe them out pretty easily. If they ally Dawasir, you're going after Najd. If they ally Dawasir and Najd, you're going after Hassa. That's simple. The reason why is, well, even if they don't rival them, they usually want Dawasir's land. Najd does. Dawasir usually wants Najd's land, and Hassa usually want both of their land, meaning you'll be able to call them in against Hormuz simply by co-belligerating these guys. So for now, let's go ahead and try and get Najd on our side, because they will usually roll marry us on day 1, and then we can get them as an ally in about a month. And with that, time to unpause and see if the Hormuzi people end up getting another ally. Again, attach this to your army. You want to keep them together. And if you notice, you've completed a mission. You need to click this mission before you do anything, because it requires you to have your manpower up to 80%. You are really close to that 80% threshold, and you want to have this morale of armies for this fight. It makes it substantially easier, but more important than that, it makes it so you can move on to your next missions, which will start giving you claims and a lot of monarch power. So click this mission before you start. It will definitely save you in some of these fights, because the last thing you need to do is waste all your manpower fighting Hormuz and then have to sit for 10 years waiting for your manpower to recover. But let's go ahead and unpause it, get to, I believe it was the 17th, and yeah, I don't care if they like me. Looks like they didn't get anybody else, so I can ally Najd. Oh, it was the 18th. So now I can call them in. Do I want to fight Medina? Not really. So the question now becomes, do I want to fight them alone, or do I want to fight Medina? I don't really want to fight Medina because Naj will get pieced out too quickly, so I'm just going to ignore them. Make Muscat, which is a fort, my Wargle, and go in. Now, if they full occupy me, I'm annexed. So I need to move quickly, knock Dawasir out of the war, and then come back before my capital falls. So, turn on the defensive edict. You don't have to take anything from Dawasir. You don't have to siege them out. Just occupy all their other land and stand on their capital, and they should peace out very, very quickly. So try and just knock them out so it's just you versus Hormuz, because you should be able to win that, because you have a lot more morale with your 2 missions giving you 5%, plus expansion of zealotry. You should be fine. So I'll see you guys in just a second. And welcome back, everybody. So this war is obviously over, and you do largely have to deplete their manpower reserves, but since you have the morale advantage as much as you do, it really shouldn't be that much of a problem, as long as you knock out whatever their ally happens to be as quickly as humanly possible. Now what you're doing is you're taking everything here in Arabia, as much money as you can. You can take their capital, but don't do it. The reason why is, again, the Timurids really, really, really want Hormuz, and you have nobody that's willing to protect you. You cannot win against the Timurids at this point, so it's not worth it. The reason why is because you will eventually go to Hormuz yourself once you have a navy and you can blockade these straits, because they will have a garbage navy themselves. Meaning as long as you can have naval dominance, you can walk across, siege it in a month, and just sit on it for as long as you need to. That's all you have to do. So, in this instance, just chill, don't take Hormuz, take all the money, it'll help pay off your debts. You have now a bunch of cores, state it up, core it up, and then of course you have another mission completed, and you'll get permanent claim, on all the land down here. And you take that, and then you'll have another mission down here, once you have that land, and it'll give you claims on Mombasa. If you recall, that's down here. Can you see where I'm going with this? So, you're going to expand as fast as you can. Now, you do have another nice little advantage for you. Specifically, your government type. While you can't become a horde because you're not a tribe nor a horde, you are a feudal theocracy, which gives you a couple of main benefits. You have that extra missionary strength, which is very nice in this kind of run. Since you have to convert all those Sunni and Shia provinces, being able to convert them easier, definitely a benefit. But on top of that, you get your own mechanics here. For 50 military power, you get claims on any province that borders you, your cores, that is not an ally, that is also not Ibadi. So right now, since I just got this, I need to core this up, and I will be able to get claims on Hassa and Dawasir. I already have claims over here, though. And I'd get it on Leland as well. Once I have actual cores up here and it actually registers them, I'll be able to get claims up here as well. And that's what you're able to do. You're still able to expand like a horde, just with claims that you don't have to fabricate. On top of that, you get dev cost reduction, which is always nice, just in your capital state. And then lastly, 15% off all your construction costs, allowing you to play incredibly tall while expanding across the globe. Meaning Oman has a lot of real advantages to it. So at this point, I need to core things up, expand, and you don't want to really expand past Hijaz. Not in Arabia. The reason why is the Ottomans will be coming down, and they will want everything in this area. They may even want Najd. So do not take Najd, try and not take Hijaz until much later. You can take Dawasir and all the guys here in the Yemenis area, and then you're going to be moving into the Horn of Africa as quickly as you possibly can. So I'm going to pause the recording because I need to start expanding, and realistically, there's not a whole lot to show you here. These guys aren't exactly allied with anybody important, though they are allied with Warsangali, and I'll probably grab them in that peace deal. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So it took me a little bit longer than with Pate because, well, I'm starting further away. And when you get through this mission, you will then get a claim down on Mombasa, but you don't actually have the range. What you do is you end up getting them and forcing them into becoming a vassal. And then once you can reach it and have the range, you integrate them, and you can complete these missions, but you go through the Horn of Africa just like Pate. And eventually you will become Somali, just like Pate, and then, as well, become Somalia, and use their mission tree to get claims over in India, as well as the Gulf of Aden, though you could probably get that on your own at this point. Invade India, and then use your government reform to keep getting claims, and just punch your way through India, while you're punching your way through South Africa, West Africa, and then eventually the Congo. And with all of that development behind you, the Ottomans, the Mamluks, even Castile, they're really not much of a threat. You're able to expand so quickly once you really get rolling, there's not really a threat out there. So that is Oman. Just simply get the land from Hormuz, expand through southern Arabia, and jump over to the Horn of Africa as quickly as you can. If the Mamluks declare on you, losing land up here is not really a big deal. It's just not. And you can even ally the Ottomans, which, as you can see here, I'm getting close enough, where once I have India, I can come back and get my land later. It's not that big of a deal. Now, let's talk about Mzab. North Africa. So Mzab is actually the country most people want to play as in order to get the third way achievement, and the one I recommend the absolute least, because they're also trying to get the other achievement of an unlikely candidate, which is Reform Al-Andalus as either Mzab, Touggourt, or Jared, which is basically take all of this land in Iberia and click the button. Seems simple enough. The thing is that Mzab is actually the worst option for both of these achievements. The reason why is both of these guys are both Sunni, meaning they're able to get allies significantly easier, and you are unlikely to get the Ottomans to protect you, meaning even if you do expand, if you're making Morocco or Tunis mad, you will have no allies that'll save you from Castile or help you fight them. And then down here, to get the third way, Pate and Oman, as you've already seen, are not that difficult. It's just a potential restart if they ally the Mamluks, or really if you somehow mess up the early war. That's it. Here, you have to be very lucky in a lot of different ways, including you're able to get all of Tlemcen, or at least most of it. You're able to expand in the south here without Tunis taking it. Hopefully Fezzan doesn't fall under a vassalization, allowing you to expand in here, otherwise you're boxed in without a coast. And then finally, hopefully Aragon doesn't fall under Castile, meaning Castile has an even bigger person to help them fight you. All of these things really matter, and you have to get very lucky as Mzab to be able to survive, especially if you're going for both. Because Morocco and Tunis, who might help you fight Castile, if you're going for the third way, you're pretty much targeting them, and they're not going to help you if you're their enemy. So it's a very precarious position. The good news is just like Oman, you have the same government type as them. You're able to have more missionaries, more missionary strength, there's more unrest reduction in your two faith provinces, so it's easier to convert people, and it's really, really easy to get war goals on people next to you. So Touggourt, yeah, they're an easy first target, and that's the first thing you're going to do at the start of the game. Just get claims down so you can fight Touggourt, hopefully before he gets an ally. You're also going to put your ruler in charge of the army. Even if he's garbage, you're not able to hire another general, and he's not very good. This is completely random, so it's nice I have tech cost, but those points are really, really bad. So just put him in charge of the army. And then as far as everything else, you have 2 more force limit, hire the free company, throw them out there. And then, of course, you have to convert your province, turn on and enforce religious unity. It should be done within about 40 months. And as far as your estates and privileges, it's a standard start, grant whatever you feel like doing. With that being done, let's talk now about diplomacy. So your starting diplomacy is pretty quick and easy, because it's going to largely depend on one simple thing. Do Morocco and Tunis hate each other? If they rival one another, that means you're not able to likely get both of them as strong allies to help you fight Castile, or they're likely to want your land too, which is obviously a problem. So at the start of the game, just check this. You can restart if you want to, or you can just keep going and hope that it works out. But either way, both of them should, even if they rival each other, be willing to royal marry you at the start of the game. Also, hopefully they will also rival Portugal, allowing you to insult just one person and have improved relations with both. So at this point, let's just go ahead and scornfully insult Portugal and try and get them high enough here to be willing to ally me. That's all I'm basically doing. At the first part of this, I'm just trying to make sure they get happy enough with me to ally. And of course, I'm trying to also get enough of an army together where I'm able to fight Tugert, and it looks like I'm also going to be having to fight Tlemcen. Now, hopefully, I'll be able to get Tunis on my side. It's going to take a bit, but that's about it. So I'm going to be waiting to attack Tugert because I don't want to do it without Tunis on my side, just to help me beat both of them down without risk of losing the war, because I really don't want to restart. But I'm going to pause the recording. I'll see you guys in just a second. Your starting diplomacy is largely based on luck. The first thing that you're going to have to worry about is whether Tunis and Morocco end up hating each other by rivaling one another. If they do, obviously that's a pretty big problem. The good news is usually they'll be willing to, at the start of the game, royal marry you. In this case, it's unfortunately not, because Tunis decided they wanted my land, which I'm not giving to them. Morocco, on the other hand, I can royal marry. Now, they won't be willing to ally me anytime soon. However, they also tend to rival, both of them, rival Portugal, which means I can spend my first day here telling Portugal exactly where to go shove it. Which means Morocco's going to like me just a little bit more, and hopefully I'll be able to get Tunis to stop wanting my land long enough to royal marry me and then become my ally. Again, it's luck. The other bit of luck that I have to deal with is Tugert. You see, they can get a lot of different kinds of allies. They can end up allying Tunis, they can end up allying Tlemcen, Fezzan, Morocco, Granada. They can ally a lot of different people. But I need them to ally nobody. As much as possible. At least nobody big. So let's see how my luck ends up holding up. Because if they end up allying people that are larger than I am, that I can't possibly fight on my own, I have to restart. There's just no thing I can do about it. Fezzan is who you're hoping they will ally, because, well, you can't fight Fezzan on your own because they're guaranteed by Tunis, and they will usually end up becoming a vassal under the Mamluks, or under Tunis. By ending up doing this, I got really lucky, because now I can end up vassalizing Fezzan, giving me a lot more expansion opportunities and the ability to expand in this direction, and at least raid people in this area. So I got very, very lucky with this, even though Tunis really wants my land. But I'm able to now declare. I'm going to go ahead and declare for Biskra, take out this army, and start improving relations with Tunis and Morocco to try and get them to ally me and stop being annoying. So I'm going to pause the recording. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So I just got Morocco as an ally after I pieced out these two guys. Fezzan is my vassal, and of course he's very disloyal, but I'll handle that soon enough. Tunis did declare on Jared in the middle of all of that, which means now I have to worry about them taking these two provinces, but I do still have my claims on Tlemcen over here. So while Tlemcen is coming up here and dealing with Tunis, I'm calling in Morocco, and I will absolutely promise them land, because I need to take out them just as soon as possible. Now I'm going to then ask for military access again through Jared if it's at all possible, but it looks like it's not quite going to be. But it is what it is. Oh, it looks like I have it anyway, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to try and take as much from Tlemcen as I possibly can. Again, they're also fighting Tunis. They may swing down here to take on me, but we'll find out, and then I'm going to, of course, start improving relations with Fezzan, trying to get them loyal to at least help me out. Now, I'm going to have to convert these other provinces, so see you guys in just a second. And welcome back, everybody. As you can see, the war is over, and I got 4 provinces out of Tlemcen, 3 of which I released into Algiers. The reason why I did this is not because they have a bunch of cores to reconquer, they only have 1 in Tunis. While that's nice, it's not really what I'm going for. I don't want to be dealing with rebels. I just don't. And by releasing them now, I'm able to avoid separatist rebels from anything in Tlemcen except for Castir, which is something special. Otherwise, this war also ended and Tunis decided to leave Jared alone. So Jared is now just chilling down here, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe them off the face of the earth to connect all of my land together. Now, as far as Castir, this is something you need. You want to give this to Morocco. They really desire this land. For whatever reason, it's about 100 opinion for them to demand it. And as you can see, they already don't like me because I took that province. They're going to break their alliance pretty much next month unless I give it to them. Now, if I gave it to them in the war, that'd be great. They get more favors with me. I don't want to have more favors. I need money. So what I can do is come down here and sell them the province for quite a stack of cash. So let's see, I can get it for 140, about 143, 145. Now, they don't hate me because they have the province, and I have a stack of cash because I took it during the war. They don't care. So if you can get it, great, sell it to them immediately after you peace out. Do not let them break their alliance. And now, they should be fine. They should be perfectly fine with your existence. On top of which, they are generally going to like you a little bit more, though I didn't apparently give them all the land they wanted, like this. And I'll be able to keep them as an alliance, at least to try and help dissuade Castile from attacking us, while I continue to focus on my next target, which is Tunis, because for whatever reason, they decide they really don't want to ally me, and I need to rival somebody, and the only option I have is Tunis. So if I don't rival them, I'm going to lose score, which isn't that big. I won't be able to get any power projection, which that's fine, but I won't be able to expand. So I'm going to attack Tunis once Castile decides to attack Granada, because they are allied to them, and I'm going to let everybody walk through my land, because of course I'm going to. I want them to go ahead and weaken Tunis down, so I can jump Tunis, and then take some of their land. While Morocco, who is also going to be getting kind of occupied, is not able to fight back. So I will see you guys a little bit, because this can take a while. And again, I am of course going to go after Jared, but I'm not going to use this government power here, because it takes 5 years between uses. I can just fabricate a claim easier for the one province down here, and be perfectly fine. So I'll see you guys in just a second. And welcome back, everybody. So what ended up happening was that Castile did attack Granada, just as they always do. However, about 3 months later, the Castilian succession crisis fired, which spawns rebels all over their country. Meaning, in this event, if they're actually fighting Morocco, Tunis, Granada, there's a chance that they will lose. And not just lose a little, lose a lot. Unfortunately, this was still early on enough in the war where they were able to call in Portugal, which absolutely saved them. The Portuguese army was enough to turn the tide, and once they started winning and they started depleting all of Morocco's manpower, Morocco wouldn't defend Tunis, so I went in. I did have to go after Jared in the middle of all of that because I was warned by Tunis, and I could have declared on war on them instead, and then used that as a justification to pick apart Tunis, but I wanted more war score out of Tunis. So if you need to, use them warning you, because they are likely to. It happens fairly often, but generally, you want to have more war score. What I ended up taking is this core for Algiers, these 3 for Fezzan, and after Fezzan is integrated, I might still release Tripoli, for the single reason that they share a mission tree with Tunis. Tunis, I might end up becoming myself, because you can still get the unlikely candidate achievement forming into Tunis or Morocco, then Al-Andalus. However, I might not want to, and I might rather form Morocco to use their cores after Morocco's been largely conquered by Spain. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but having the mission tree is very important. The reason why is they have a mission that will fill in these 2 uncolonized provinces, allowing you to expand into West Africa. Very, very important thing to do. So whatever you do, make sure you at least have the Tunisian missions either in a vassal of Tripoli or by forming Tunis yourself. Simple enough. Now that I have these provinces, I'm going to get my guys to stop running away because they lost a fight, core up what I took, convert it over, and then integrate these 2 guys, and simply sit back and wait for me to be able to attack Tunis again. I'm not going west. While I understand the desire to go west now, realistically, unless this happens, which is what happened in my game, you're not going to be able to go west. They'll take out Granada, they'll be able to push into Morocco, and Morocco's vulnerable. Nothing you can really do about that. Here, I'm able to jump over, grab Granada, with any luck, and by doing that, mess up their AI by just building a fort there, making it as defensive as possible, and focusing over here on Ceuta. By taking Ceuta, they can't get to me. That's all I'd have to do. And once I've done that, I've blocked the Spaniards from being a problem for me for a long time. All I need at that point is just a navy, and if you've seen my Morocco guide, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But at this point, I'm going to pause the recording because I need to get these guys integrated so I can show you what I'm talking about when it comes to Tripoli and everything else. So I will see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So I got very, very, very lucky in this game. What ended up happening was that Tunis did ally the Ottomans, and they will do that every so often. When that happens, you kind of can't do anything until the Ottomans gets into a war and gets a bunch of war exhaustion. Fortunately, not only did that happen, but Castile attacked Morocco at the same time. Meaning, Morocco was being occupied, wouldn't help out Tunis, and the Ottomans wouldn't help out Tunis due to war exhaustion, either with Granada, because they were also fighting Castile, meaning I was able to come in and just fight Tunis on my own. Now, I did not release Tripoli. The reason why is because I forgot what the mission requirements were, and when I looked it up, it was basically give them my entire country in order to have them have these two spots being filled, and you can just do that as Tunis yourself, so that's exactly what I'm doing. Unfortunately, I can't full annex Tunis, but I can largely full annex Tunis, and that's good enough. I'll come back and get the one province that nobody can stop me from taking later. But that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, because I wanted to explain that Tunis can get the Ottomans as an ally and how you're supposed to try and respond to that. But I'm going to go ahead and pause it, bring you guys back once I'm able to wipe Tunis off the map, because then I can actually form Tunis and continue on with what you actually need to do with this guide. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I have formed Tunis, and I have maintained my alliance with the Moroccans on my western flank, and there's a very good reason for it. Even though I really want this gold mine because it would absolutely help my economy, I can't afford to take it. If I do anything to hurt Morocco, it makes Castile far more likely to conquer a bunch of land down there, and once they've taken out Morocco, they're coming for me. Right now, however, if we stay allied and we back each other up, the two of us combined equals a Castile. Meaning that since there's a mountain fort here, capital fort, but it's good enough, we can actually hold the line here. Between Tlemcen and Fez, we can force them to constantly send wave after wave into defensive terrain until they realize it's not working and peace out. We can hold that line. So keep Morocco as an ally just to stop the Castilians from picking you off. Because either pick Morocco off first and then you, or go for you first and then Morocco. And once they start that path, it's really hard to reverse. If you can get the Ottomans to come and back you up and ally you and defend you, that's great. That'll keep Castile on their own, and you can go after Morocco then. Until that happens, though, keep that alliance. Because even now, as you can see here, I've improved them as much as I really can, and I've even insulted people in the meantime. They're not willing to ally me. Or royal marry me. I have to wait till they get closer by going through the Mamluks, and then I can try and breach that gap too, though they will probably also want to get my land if I do so. So it's kind of a risk trying to rely on the Ottomans in this instance, but it is what you can do. Now that I've actually done this, though, let's talk about these missions, because I couldn't do it as Tripoli, as a vassal, but I can do it as myself. The reason why is this first mission here requires this state, and this state up here to complete. Which means if you don't get Fezzan early on, this province is Fezzan's. Which means if they become a vassal of the Mamluks, you are stuck until you are able to attack the Mamluks either while they're at war with the Ottomans or with the war with the Ottomans in order to gain that province so you can continue on. The first one is simple. It just gives you some unrest reduction, which doesn't really help. But then the second one, which requires you to have the most trade power in your home node, which just required me to upgrade some centers of trade, and that's about it. And then build a marketplace in Tripoli, right here, which is also where you're going to be wanting to build one anyway. You will suddenly have this happen, where it discovers the area down here so you can invade, and bridges the gap with full provinces. They're not going to be your religion, they're not going to be your culture, so get ready to convert them as soon as you possibly can. But you now have a way to get into West Africa. On top of that, as you recall from my other portions of this guides, there is a tag that will spawn right in here, allowing you to go from here in West Africa, and then into East Africa, into the Horn of Africa, and then down into the gold mines of Mutapa. So right now, you are just going to hold the line against the Europeans. That's it. Until you can get the Ottomans on your side, you're not going any further into Spain, into Italy, into anybody. You have now done all the expansion in the north you're going to do. And you're going to be expanding into Air, into Katsina, into Mali, into Shanghai, into Timbuktu, because these are now your new targets. Because with these guys, you'll have enough development to be able to keep up with Spain, and with all of the gold mine and all the development down here, you should be able to beat Spain, because half their army will be in the New World by the time you are ready to actually fight them. And by then, hopefully the Ottomans will stop being annoying and will ally you. And then eventually, you will then be able to form Al-Andalus. So, this should help you get off the ground as Mzab. Now, the only other advice I can really give you is, if the Ottomans have any land here that they really say they want, give it to them. Even if you take it yourself, even if you fight for it yourself, give it to them. While you will eventually have to fight the Ottomans for the Third Way achievement, you need them to help you beat Spain. The nice thing is after you've beaten Spain, you don't need the Ottomans anymore, because you should be able to then turn around and destroy the Ottomans fairly easily. Because at that point, you're largely taking on the biggest European power, and the Ottomans can't really help you much doing it, because by the time they get there, most of the major battles at the start of the war are going to be decided anyway. So you should be fine. This is just a very late game solution. Hopefully all these guides help you guys out. If you guys like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I will be making more of it. However, these 3 guides together did take more time, so please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, if you find it useful, or anything else, because it does let me know that it's been helpful for you guys. If you want to see a particular country or game mechanic or achievement covered, let me know in a comment below. I'm always looking for more ideas, and, well, this was a big one, so I'm taking a break, so if you want to see something in particular, let me know now before I start another big project. But with all of that being said, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.